Hello everybody, my name is Adam, and this is a show where I talk about how to make your Pathfinder games easier to run and more fun to play. For some reason, this intro is getting harder and harder by the day, and I don't know why. Anyway, let's begin with our character of the day. Her name is Orinala Zakel. She is a changeling. If you're not aware with what a changeling is, it's basically the daughter of a hag and a mortal parent, and they often get left at people's doorsteps, and then once they hit puberty, they receive a call to come back to the hags, join them, partake in their magic. Orinala identifies with being a misfit a lot. In her childhood, she was even a little bit worse than she is right now. Right now, she works many odd jobs. She's a carpenter, a potion maker, a healer, a counselor, probably a midwife at some point, a prostitute, any number of things. She's a weird one. And what she likes to do is she likes to have people embrace their weirdness and their misfithood, and she is very chaotic in that respect, although she's still a neutral good character. I'm getting a little bit mechanical there, but I don't care about that. I think I forgot to mention this, but she's a changeling witch, by the way, and her familiar is a duck. I'm pretty sure ducks aren't available in the main books as familiars, but I read in the Ultimate Equipment book that a duck has the same stats as a raven does, and a raven is allowed as a familiar. So what I did with this is I had the duck give its owner a +3 bonus to swim checks, because somebody who's bonded to a duck has to kind of float like a duck a little bit. That's what I think. Otherwise, if you need the stat block for the duck, it's a raven. Don't worry about it. She also uses her magic to come off better socially. She'll use it to, like, do her makeup. That's a little bit of a bad description, but she'll use a spell called Youthful Appearance to appear as she did long ago. She has a very cute, attractive sort of face in this form, and all the stray gray hairs in her hair have gone, and it turns into like a dark red sort of color. One of her main goals is to one day adopt a daughter of her own. She's not interested in attracting a lover anymore, because she's a little bit too old for it, because she's of middle age right now. But she wants to adopt a daughter and somehow figure out a way to get her to learn magic like she did. Also, the name for the duck familiar might get a little bit confusing for some of you, so I'm going to pronounce it for you right here. It's Ook Ook, which is a strange name, but in my thoughts, it's Verizian for quacking sounds. I've learned quite a few languages. That's what I think. That's how I think it should be. Ook Ook means quack in Verizian, and that's why his name is Ook Ook. I'm rambling. I'm gonna go on to the setting. The setting for this day, I guess you could say, is farmland which has been covered in snow. It's very, very cold, but not extremely windy, which is a good thing. The clouds look very picturesque, and if you look back into the forest, you can see that there are bright balls of light sort of floating around. They could be fairies, lanterns. It just looks like some sort of light. Maybe a dancing light spell. I didn't think of that when I was writing my notes, but that's how it works. The plot hook for today is that the players have been... Start over. The plot hook for today is that the players are struggling against nature, and that's happening because they've been suddenly teleported to, or there's a sudden wave of extreme cold or heat or something like that. Just nature getting really, really uninhabitable, and they're struggling against that. And to make matters worse, there's a cult flying around that wants them to, say, embrace the heat or embrace the cold or something like that. There's some force that enters in that compels them to either remove their cold weather gear or dispels their endure element spells or something like that. So it's not quite as easy as it once would be. And for the one-shot idea, I'm having it take place in northeastern Varizia, and there's that sudden wave of cold and everything's snowing over, and everybody finds themselves in that farmland, because I was thinking either they were born in the farmland or they might be traveling south to get away from all that snow that's coming through. Let me see what I have written here. And the force that's getting rid of their protection is that a clan of orcs is coming in from the east. Yeah, east. And they want them to show that they're strong by removing their cold weather gear or dismissing their spells or anything like that, just to prove that they're strong and they're worthy of not having their creds. Okay, they're worthy of not having their heads crushed in. Simple enough. Also, Orinala Zakel shows up to help them, and she's having a rough time with the cold as well. So there. The music I picked out for the setting today is called After 4 by Valgeir. I'm not pronouncing that. I'm going to leave the artist name in the prescription, okay, in the description, because I'm going to butcher his name, maybe her name. I'm not sure. It's very Scandinavian, and I'm not attempting it. I know quite a few languages, but I don't know that one. Anyway, one of the reasons I use my spellbook in the silly openings that I do is because my musing today will be about magic and spellbooks. I've made this spellbook from scratch. I'll probably do a bigger musing episode on this, just because it might be fun to show an episode on how I made this spellbook. It's not complete yet, I don't think, but it has quite a few pages filled in. Yeah, instead of musing today, we'll just take a look at this, and I'll leave a link later to the episode where we talk about how to make it. So, this page is for the prestidigitation spell, if I remember correctly. And then you have another page like this for Acid Splash, and another one for Arcane Mark. I did this for a character of mine whose name is Rekingar. I'm wondering if I tilted that too far back and then you couldn't see it, but anyway. You can let either these pages inspire you, or you can look up like transmutation circles from Full Metal Alchemist. Those are all good ideas for if you want to make your own spellbooks as a craft. Probably tomorrow or next episode I'll talk about sigil making. We could actually take up all this week for how to make spellbooks and what they mean and that sort of thing. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Alright, see you guys later.